Hello all, welcome to another session of this course. As part of this session, I am going to cover the next topic under the flow control statements, that is iterative or looping statements. Second category of flow control statements I am going to cover in this session, which are nothing but iterative or looping statements. In the previous session, I have covered or completed this conditional selection statements of the flow control statements. But now, in this session, I am going to cover iterative looping statements. So let's get started. Just for reference, I have these notes, guys. Okay. Let me copy these notes and, put it here. We'll be using these notes as a reference. Fine. So these are the notes. Okay. These are the notes. So let's come back here. And here, let me write down under the flow control statement. The second category we have is iterative, or you can also call them as iterative statements or looping statements. Okay. What are the different iterative or looping statements we have in the JavaScript? If I have to, if I have to list down the list of iterative or looping statements we have in the JavaScript, the first one comes as while loop. Okay. The first one is while loop. Followed by the while loop, we have the next one as do while loop. Next one is do while loop. Then third one here is for loop. Okay, for loop. Then we have fourth one as for in loop. Okay, the next one after the for loop is for in loop, and the last one we have is for off loop. Okay, these are the different iterative or looping statements we have in the JavaScript. Out of this five iterative or looping flow control statements, in this session, I am going to cover only these three items. First one is while loop I am going to cover. After while loop I am going to cover do while loop. Then I am going to cover the for loop. Three items are enough. What about these other two items? They will be explained to you not in this session but in the upcoming sessions, because I need to explain for in loop with objects, whereas I need to explain for off loop with iterables like array list and so on. Okay, so I didn't cover the objects or arrays kind of iterables at this point of time till now. So these two items, okay, these two items I'll be postponing to the upcoming sessions, because this is not the right time for me to explain this two kind of loops. When the right time comes, I'm going to cover what is for in loop, what is for out loop. Okay. For now, at this point of time, these three loops or three iterative statements are enough to get started. Later, I'll cover the remaining two. Okay. So let me get started with the while loop first. After that, I'll go with the do while loop, then for loop. Okay. So for that, let me launch the editor. Let me launch the Visual Studio Code editor, guys, where I'm demonstrating the JavaScript code for you. Let me close all this stuff, the previous files. Let me delete also. They are part of the previous sessions. So let me delete them. I don't need them anymore. So right click here, delete. That's it. After that, create a new JavaScript file where I'm going to explain about the while loop first. Okay. I'll say while loop.js. Okay. I'm just giving some name of the JavaScript file and say .js and press enter. Okay. So when I select this and when I create this JavaScript file, it looks like this, guys. Okay. I need to write the code. How to write the code? Let I is equal to 1. Okay. Let I is equal to 1. Okay. This is the first statement I am writing. Let I is equal to 1. I'm creating the variable I. You can create any variable. It can be A, B, C, D, but I generally use I in this case of while demonstrating the while loop, because I can also relate I with iterations, right? So let I is equal to 1 while while circular brackets starting of the while loop and ending of the while loop. This is the starting of the loop. This is ending of the loop, and here while is the keyword. After the while keyword, we have the circular bracket. Inside this circular bracket, there should be, we have to create one condition which either results in true or false. Okay. So how these loops generally work? Before actually I demonstrate this code for you, that is while loop for you, you need to understand how this iterative or looping statements actually work. For that, let me take one example here. Let's say, assume that this is a JavaScript file, guys. Okay, this is a JavaScript file. In this JavaScript file, there are some lines of code. Line 1, line 2, line 3, then line 4, then line 5, then line 6, then line 7, then line 8, then line 9, then line 10, and so on. Okay. So there is a JavaScript file in that multiple lines of code is there. Okay. I'll be starting executing from this line, guys. Okay. After three lines of code got executed. Okay. Assume that after this first, second, third, and lines of code got executed, I want to run these lines of code multiple times. One time, two times, three times, four times, five times, six times, and then continue the execution. You see, have repeatedly run these three lines of code, that is after first, second, third, fourth line, fifth line, sixth line. Okay, fourth, fifth, sixth lines of the code I have repeatedly run multiple times, that is six times. I have repeatedly have executed the same lines of code multiple times, that is six times. The fourth, fifth, sixth lines got executed six times, guys. Okay, fine then. Okay, so we can run the same lines of code multiple times. For this purpose, we have to use while loop, do while loop, for loop. You can also use other type of loop, but in this sessions, I am going to cover these three loops for you. Okay. How to use while loop to run the same lines of the code multiple times is the first thing that I am going to cover in this session. Okay. While I is less than, okay, equal to 10. While I is less than or equal to 10. Okay. Like this, you have to write the syntax of the while loop, guys. Okay. While keyword, circular bracket. Initially, the value of the I is 1. Then I am saying I less than or equal to 10. This is a condition that will result in either true or false. Here I'll write console.log. Okay, I'll just print the value of the I. Now, if I run this code, what will be printed? If I run this particular code, what will be printed, guys? If I run this code as it is, what will be printed, do you think? Initially, I is 1. 1 is, I is 1, right? So 1 is less than or equal to 10 is true. We'll go inside the while loop. If this condition is true, we'll go inside the while loop. Okay. If this particular condition is true, we'll go inside the while loop. So before this, let me explain one more item, guys. You know how the while loop will work. Let me tell you. Okay. So the code of the execution will be something like this, right? The code of the execution will be something like this, and here some while loop condition is there. For example, some looping condition, okay? Or else I'll just write loop here instead of while or do while. I'll write some loop, okay? Loop and some, it may be while loop or do while loop. Some condition is there, okay? Some condition, okay? This particular condition may result in either true or false. If this condition in this particular while loop or do while loop or for loop, this particular condition is resulting in true, let's say. Okay, if this particular condition is resulting in true, let's say there is some block. Okay, block of code is there. Okay, loop block of code. Okay, some block of code is there. If this condition is resulting in true, what happens? This particular block of code inside this loop will get executed. After it gets executed, okay, after it gets executed, the control will come back to the, after it gets executed, the control will come back to the loop, guys. Okay, like this, the control will come back. Once this particular loop condition, okay, while executing, if you encounter any loop condition and if this condition is true, that particular block of the code which is there inside the loop will get executed. Once it got executed, that's fine, okay. What if this particular condition results in false? What if this particular condition results in false? Okay, if this particular condition results in false, guys, okay, if this particular condition results in false, if this particular condition results in false, okay, then we'll come out of this loop. So how the execution will happen? Execution will stop something like this. Okay, let me draw something else. Okay, the execution will go like this, and here comes the condition. Condition will be verified. The condition, if it is resulting in true, the code, execution will go like this, and this block of code will be executed for the first time. After the block of the code got executed, the control will come back to this same condition. Okay, for the, and if the condition is again true, second time also if the condition is true, again the execution will happen. Execution will go in this direction and block of code will be executed for second time, and the control will again come back to the condition. Again, if the condition is true, for third time also will go in the same direction, block of code inside the loop will get executed, and again at the end, after executing all this block of code, the control will come back to the condition. Again, if it is true, same block of code will be executed and it will come to the condition. Again, if it is true, the same block of code will be executed and come back to the condition. Again, if it is true, the same block of code will be executed and come back to the condition. Finally, when the condition becomes false, we'll come out of this loop. When the condition becomes false, we'll come out of this loop. Okay. So this is how we need to understand the iterative or looping statements, guys. Based on this loop condition, the condition is resulting in true. That many number of times, how many times this condition is of the loop is getting true, that many times the block of the code of the loop will get executed. And once the condition results in false, will come out of the loop, guys. Okay. So the same thing here I explained, right? So now come back and imagine whatever it is happening here. Okay. Initially I is 1, guys. So is this condition of the loop condition, that is while loop condition, is true or false? Here while keyword is there, so it is a while loop. While followed by the condition in circular brackets, I less than or equal to 10, 1 less than or equal to 10, which is correct. One should be either less than 10 or equal to 10. It is 1 less than 10. So this condition is true. If it is resulting in true, we'll go inside the while loop, and here console.log of I. What is the current value of I? So 1 will be printed. Okay. The current value of I is 1. 1 will be printed. Now we'll come to the end of this loop. Once we come to the end of the loop, from here, the condition, the control will go to this condition. Okay. And check whether this condition is still true or false. Okay. So still the value of I has not changed anywhere, guys. So I is still 1 only. So 1 is less than or equal to 10. Again true. We'll go inside. Again the value of I, which is 1, will be printed. We'll come to the end of the loop. Again from here we'll come to this condition. I is less than or equal to I value has not changed anywhere. So value of I is still 1 only. The way it is in the beginning. After this two loops also, two iterations of this loop also, the value of I is still 1. 1 less than or equal to 10. Again true. We'll go inside the loop, and here console.log. 1 will be printed. End of the loop. Again come to the condition. Again we'll come back to the condition, guys. Once you come back to the condition again, the value of I is still 1 only. Again true. We'll go inside. Again 1 will be printed. Again the condition is true. Again 1 will be printed. Again the condition is true because I is 1. Again 1 will be printed. Again true. Is there any end for this? Is there any end for printing 1? No. Because the condition is always true. Okay. The situation here is this particular condition is always true. There is no matter the value of the I is getting changed in this particular program, because of which this while loop condition is always true. So one will get printed infinite times. Okay. It will not stop printing it. The one will get printed infinite time. For example, if I say node and the name of the JavaScript file and JS, if I print, you see, the one is kept on printing as it will not stop. Okay. The one will kept on printing. It is not going to stop. Okay. There is no end for this. Okay, you see, one is blinking here. You see, one is blinking here. It's kept on printing. It's going on like that somehow. Okay, so it is an infinite loop, guys. Okay, it will not stop. If the condition is always true, the while loop will result in while loop will iterate infinite times. This is one thing you need to understand. Okay, so kill terminal. I'm just killing the terminal, guys, and let's close this. Have killed the terminal manually, and I'll just go here and open a new terminal from here. Now it's kind of good. Okay, it's from infinite loop. You cannot stop the output, right? You have to kill the terminal. That's the only way. Okay. The next thing here is, no, I don't want to print this value of the one infinite times. What I want to do next is let I is equal to 1 while I is less than or equal to 10 console.log of I. If I write like this, and if I for the first iteration I is equal to 1, 1 less than or equal to 10 is 2. Okay, we'll go inside the while loop, and the value of I, that is 1, will get printed here. Okay, the value of the I, that is 1, will get printed here. Okay, and the end up we'll come to the end of the loop, and we'll go back to this particular condition where I less than or equal to 10. I value will be always 1, right? So what I have to do different in this particular code is I'll just write I plus plus. In one of the previous session, I explained about this post increment operator, right? Post increment after the variable, if the operator is coming, that is called as a post increment operator. Okay. Either pre increment or post increment you can use in this particular stage. It doesn't matter. So what this particular statement will do, it will increment the value of the variable I by 1. Okay. Every time one iteration completes, okay, the value of the I will increase by 1. Okay. So let's get started here how this program will work. Initially, the value of I is 1. 1 less than or equal to 10 is true. 1 less than or equal to 10 is true. If it is true, we'll go inside the while loop. And here, 1 will be printed. Here, 1 will be printed. After 1 got printed here, I plus plus, I will become 1. 1 plus 1 is the value of I, that is 1, will be incremented by 1. That is, I will become 2, guys. When I becomes 2, 2 less than or equal to 10. 2 less than or equal to 10. You see the value of I got changed from 1 to 2. If 2 is less than or equal to 10, this condition will become true, and will go inside the loop, and when you say console.log of I means the value of I, that is 2, will get printed. Okay, the value of I, that is 2, will get printed. Okay, then I plus plus I will become 3. We'll go to the end of the loop, and I is has become 3, 3 less than or equal to 10, which is true, 3 less than or equal to 10, which is true. If the condition is true, here when I print I, the value of I, that is current value of the I, that is 3, will get printed. The value of I, that is 3, will get printed. Then I plus plus I will become 4 here. The value of the I will become from 3 to 4, incremented by 1. At the end of the loop, they will come back to the condition, and 4 less than or equal to 10 is still true, will go inside the loop. The value of current value of the I, that is 4, will get printed. Then I plus plus I will become 5 here. Okay, once we come back to this condition, 5 less than or equal to 10 is true, 5 will be printed here. Then I will become 6. To go to this condition, 6 less than or equal to 10, again true. 6 will be printed, will go inside the loop, and 6 will be get printed. I will become 7. 7 less than, again true, will go inside the loop, and 7 will get printed. Then 8 will come to the end of the loop, and this, I became 8, and this condition is still true, will go inside the loop, and the value of current value of the I, that is 8, will get printed. Then I plus plus I will become 9, end of the loop. We'll go back to the condition here, 9 less than or equal to 10, which is still true, will come inside, and 9 will get printed. Then I plus plus I will become 10, end of the loop, and we'll come back to the condition where 10 less than or equal to 10, which is true. And when I print I, the value of that I, that is 10, will get printed. Then I plus plus I will finally become 11. Okay. End of the loop, and will come to this condition where 11 less than or equal to 10. 11 is neither less than 10 nor equal to 10. Okay. This condition for the first time is getting false, will come out of this loop. So 1 to 10 will get printed here in this case. Okay. If you run this code, you see only 1 to 10 will be printed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will get printed. So this is how we need to write the while loop, guys. Okay, this is how this one of the basic example. Like a lot of people will explain you when you when you join any trainings or something, right? When you go through some recordings or trainings or whatever it is, this is a basic program everyone will teach you. Okay, so initially the value of the I is 1, and I need to iterate this loop until this condition becomes false. Okay, when the condition will become false, when the I becomes 11, the condition will become false. Initially, the condition is true when the I is 1, and in every iteration for 10 iterations, the condition is true. But at the 11th, when I became 11, in that iteration, the condition failed and we came out of the loop. So 1 to 10 got printed. Okay, fine. This is how I have run the code, and you can clearly see that 1 to 10 got printed. Fine. This is also good. This is also good. Next thing here you need to understand here is, next thing that you have to understand here is, I explained about two possibilities. What if the condition is always true? Okay, we'll be iterating this loop. If the condition of this while loop is always true, we'll be iterating this loop infinite times. Okay, what if the condition is to some iterations it is true, and at some point of time it will become false. Okay, to some iterations the condition is true, and at some point of iteration it become false. Only that for that particular iterations only the value of the I will get printed. Okay, limited number of iterations. A kind of a count of iterations will be run. Okay, next thing here is, what if here if I give I is equal to 15 as it is. When a third case, this is a third case, guys. When I give I is equal to 15, what will happen? The value of the I is 15. 15 less than or equal to 10. First of all, only the condition is false. In earlier two cases, it was like this. Okay. Earlier two cases, the condition was something like this. Okay. Always true. Condition was always true. That has resulted in infinite loop. Okay. The iterations were done infinite times. Okay. They will not stop. Second case was that initially true. Initially the condition initially initially condition initially true, but later false. After some iterations the condition became false. That means a count of iterations will be done. Next thing here is, okay, initially false, initially false. If it is false initially only, okay, for the first only it is false. Here 0 times, okay, 0 times the iterations will be done. Here infinite times the iterations will be done. Here 0 times, here, okay, countable times iterations will be done. Okay, the while loop will be iterated. If the condition of the while loop is always true, it is infinite times it will iterate the while loop. Okay, or any loop. If the condition is initially true but later turns to false, countable number of times the while loop will get iterated. Third thing is, initially it is false, but later it becomes sorry, initially itself it is false, means the iterations will not happen even one time. 0 time iterations, guys. Okay, 0 times. Okay, the iterations will have, okay, iterations will, okay, will be 0 times. Okay, iterations will be 0 times. Hope everyone is clear, right? Initially true and all those stuff. Okay. The third case I'm showing you right now, guys. When I say the condition is for the first time itself, it is false. Like 15 less than or equal to 10. For the first time itself, it's false. This loop will not run even one time. You will not get any output, guys. You will not get any output. You see, there is no output. Earlier, infinite ones were printed in the first case. Okay. In this case, infinite ones got printed in the example. Second case, 1 to 10 got printed. Countable number of times the iteration happened, so 1 to 10 got printed. Third case where the condition is by default in the first case, first situation itself it is false, means 0 times the loop got iterated. 0 times the loop got iterated. So you see, you didn't get output because 0 times the loop. You didn't enter into the while loop because for the first time itself the condition is false. So the while loop got iterated 0 times. Okay, fine. So this is all about the while loop, guys. Okay, hope you understood what exactly is a while loop. The next category of the iterative or looping statements is do while loop. Okay, you have seen these three conditions, right? You have seen these three conditions. Okay, you have seen these three conditions, but third condition, when the condition is for the first time itself false, the loop has iterated 0 times. Okay. What if I say there is a way where even though initially only if the condition is false, the loop will iterate at least one time. How that is possible? With the help of while loop, it is not possible, but with the help of do while loop, it is possible. Okay. With the help of do while loop, okay, we can iterate the loop at least one time, even though the condition is first time only false. Here, if the condition is I is equal to 15, 15 less than or equal for the first time only the condition is false. If the condition is first only false, what will happen? The loop will not be iterated even one time. Okay, 0 times. What if I convert this while loop into do while loop? Then how to convert this while loop into do while loop? Here, take this while condition, which is there in the beginning of this loop, right? Beginning, starting of the loop, ending of the loop. In the beginning part of the loop, only this while keyword and condition are there, right? Take it from there here and put it at the end of the loop. And here at the end, if error is coming, put a semicolon. Okay. Now in the beginning part, you write a keyword known as do keyword. Now this will get converted into do while loop. Okay. Earlier when while and this condition was there here in place of the do keyword, if this while keyword and condition was there, it is called as a while loop, right? Now if I take this while condition to the end of this block and loop block, and in the beginning of the loop block, if I put do keyword, this gets converted into the do while loop. Simple words. Okay. Now here the condition is false. For the first time only condition is false. Yes or no? 15 is there, 15 less than or equal to 10 is false. But this loop will run at least one time. Even though the condition is false for the first time also, this loop will iterate at least one time. How? Let me show you. Initially I is 15, right? You see, when I want to enter into this particular loop, is there any condition here checking that not allowing me to enter into this loop? Is there any particular condition here which is stopping me from entering into this particular loop? There is no condition, right? Okay. Here, after the do keyword, there is no condition which is stopping me from entering into this loop, right? Which is, there is no particular condition here which is stopping me from entering into this particular loop. So if there is no condition here, just do keyword is there and starting is there, no condition is there, we'll directly enter into the loop without checking any condition. Okay. No matter whether without validating this condition, we are entering into this loop. And here the value of the I, that is 15, is getting printed. You see in the first iteration, the value of the I 15 got printed. Now I plus means I will become 16 now. I became incremented by 1, that's 15 to 16, 16 it will become. Now the condition will be checked. At the end of this loop, the condition is checked for the first time. So while 16 is less than or equal to 10 is false, will come out of the loop. Earlier, the same condition was there in the while loop and same values were there for the I and all. The loop didn't execute even once. 0 times execution happened. But now, when I convert this while loop into do while loop, okay, at least once, you see, the loop already got iterated one time. Okay, the value of I got printed, 15 will be printed, and next condition is false, so will come out of the loop. Okay, if you run this code, you see, at least one iteration, that is the value of I, that is 15 got printed, only one iteration has been iterated. At least one time this do while loop will run, guys, when compared to the while loop. Remaining all things are same, guys. Remaining, when the condition is always true, this do while loop also will go into infinite loops. When the condition is initially true but later turns false, also countable number of times. Okay, the loop can be running, do while loop will run, but only the difference between while loop and do while loop is if the condition is first only false, while loop will run 0 times, whereas do while loop will run one time, at least one time the do while loop will run. Okay, if the condition is first only false, at least one time the do while loop will run. That's what is the major difference between the while loop and do while loop. So now you can ask me, like, what if I provide 1 here? Will it print 1 to 10? Yes, definitely it will print 1 to 10, guys. Okay, initially it is 1. We'll go inside the loop without condition check. Here I value is 1, so 1 will be printed. I will become 2. Condition will be checked. 2 less than or equal to 10, true. Again we'll enter into the loop. 2 will get printed here. Then 3, true again. Enter into the loop. 3 will be printed. Then 4, condition is true. Again enter into the loop, 4 will be printed. 5, condition is true. Enter into the loop, 5 will be printed. 6, condition is true. Enter into the loop and 6 will be printed. 7, condition is true. Enter into the loop, 7 will be printed. 8, condition is true. Will enter into the loop and 8 will be printed. Then 9, condition is true. Will enter into the loop and 9 will be printed. Then 10, the condition, condition is true. Will enter into the loop and 10 will be printed. Okay, 10 will be printed. After that, I will become 11. Condition is true. Okay, the condition will become true. And once you enter into this, here no condition is there. Sorry, when I becomes 11, for example, up to 10, it's fine. When I becomes 11, right? The condition is true or false. It's false. 11 is less than or equal to 10 is false. So we'll come out of the do while. So 1 to 10 got printed. 1 to 10 will be printed, guys. Let me show you how the 1 to 10 will be printed. You see 1 to 10 got printed. Okay, fine. Remaining all cases, while loop and do while loop will work in the same way, but only in one case where the initially if the condition is false, while loop will run 0 times, whereas do while loop will run 1 time. Okay, that's what is the difference between while loop and do while loop. Okay, that's what is the difference between while loop and do. I'll change it back to the while loop again, guys. I'll just change this code into the while loop again. Anyhow, you have understood this do while loop, right? So I'll change this code back to the while loop where, I have removed the do keyword and whatever the while keyword and condition I have kept at the end of the loop, right? I moved it into the beginning of the loop. Okay, now I is equal to 1, 1 less than or equal to 10 and all those stuff. 1 to 10 will be printed. That's okay. 1 to 10 got printed. Everything is working fine. This is a normal while loop, right? This is normal while loop. Now comes the third category that I am going to cover in this session of the loops. After while loop and do while loop, we have one more category, one more item under the iterative or looping state, one more type of statement that is for loop, guys. Okay, there's the next one is for loop, guys. Next one is for loop. How to convert this while loop into the for loop? Here, replace this while keyword with for keyword. Okay, replace this while keyword with the for keyword. Okay, that is the first thing. And the next thing here is here this declaration and creation of this variable is in the beginning, right? I'll just put it here. Okay, this is one step. After that, here semicolon, you put it from here and paste it here, and I plus plus, you bring it here. Okay, this I plus plus, you bring it here. That's it. This is what becomes a for loop. Okay, I converted the while loop code into the for loop code. Let me repeat again, guys. Okay, just see here what is happening. Let me go back. Let me go back to the code of the while loop code. Okay, declaration and creation, declaration and initialization of the variable is done in one line. Then condition is there in another line. Incrementation or decrementation. Okay, change of the variable I as part of the initialization, incrementation or decrementation is there in another step, seventh step. Third step, first step, seventh step. There are 3 steps, right? So how many lines of code are there because of these 3 steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Total 9 lines of code are there. What if I tell you I can simplify this code in such a way that you don't have to write this many lines of code, 9 lines of code you don't have to write. I can reduce the code at least 2 lines. I'll reduce the code. Okay, how to do that? So if I have to convert this while loop code into the for loop, okay, you have to change this keyword while keyword with the for keyword. Okay, in the same code, change the while keyword into the for keyword, and this part, declaration and initialization part, you move it here as a first section inside the circular brackets. Only condition won't be there. In case of for loop, there will be 3 sections. First section will be creation and initialization, declaration or initialization, or creation or initialization is the first step. Second step is a condition, guys. Second step is a condition, and third step is this part. Okay, for this part, to separate this condition, we need a semicolon symbol. We can take the semicolon from here and paste it here. After that, you take this incrementation or decrementation and paste it here. Okay, so this is what is the final code. How many lines of code earlier? 9 lines. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4, total 5 lines. How many lines got reduced? From 9 lines, it became, from 9 lines, it became 5 lines. 4 lines got reduced. Which one is simple? While loop is simple or for loop is simple? For loop is simple. Because all the 3 things, that is creation of the variable and initialization of the variable and condition, then incrementation or decrementation are part of the same line. Okay, they are part of the same line. Okay, initialization section, this is called as in for loop, this is called as initialization section, this is called as condition section. Okay, this one is called as a incrementation or decrementation section. Okay, like the 3 sections will be there. Whereas in while loop, you have to write this in separate line. You have to create the variable and initialize that in a separate line. You have to write the condition in a separate line and so on, right? But in case of for loop, all the 3 items will come in the same condition, and this how the loop will be there. This will give you the same result, guys. This will give you the same result. Okay, here what will happen, how this when you run this code, what will happen, the execution will start from here, right? First this initialization section will be done. Okay, first the control will go to the inside the for loop, the initialization section will be executed first. That is, let I is equal to 1. Okay, variable I will be created and it will be assigned with the value 1. Okay, that is the first step. Once I became 1, from here the control will jump to the second section of this for loop, that is condition, that is I less than or equal to 10. 1 is less than or equal to 10, true or false? Yes, 1 is less than or equal to 10 is true. Once the condition is true, we'll go inside the loop, right? Whenever a loop condition becomes true, we'll go inside the loop, right? Here also after the condition becomes true, we'll go inside the loop. And here the value of the I, that is current value of the I is 1, 1 will get printed. And at the end of the loop, from the end of the loop, the control will come back to this third section, that is I plus plus, okay? Incrementation or decrementation section, it will come. So value of I will become 2 here. And from here, again condition will be verified, okay? 2 less than or equal to 10, true. Go inside. Current value of I is true, 2 will be printed. Okay, 2 will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus, I will become 3. 3 less than or equal to 10. True. Come into the loop. 3 will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus, I will become 4. 4 less than or equal to 10, which is true. You go inside the loop. 4 will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus, I will become 5. 5 less than or equal to 10, which is true. We'll go inside that and 5 will be printed. Then end of the loop. I will become 6, which is true. 6 will be printed. End of the loop. 7, condition is true. Go inside the loop. 7 will be printed. End of the loop. From here condition, it will go to this incrementation or decrementation. I will become 8. From here condition, okay, which is true. The current value of the I, that is 8, will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus. I plus plus, guys. I'll become 9. Condition is still true. 9 less than or equal to 10 is still true. We'll go inside the loop. The current value of the I, that is 9, will get printed. End of the loop. I plus plus. I'll become 10. 10 less than or equal to 10 is, which is still true. The condition is true. We'll go inside the loop and print the value of the I, that is 10, will get printed. End of the loop. We'll go to the I plus plus. I'll become 11 here. 11 less than or equal to 10, which is for the first time false, will come out of this for loop. This is how the for loop will run. Okay. Let me run the code and see what is happening. You see, 1 to 10 will be printed, guys. When I print, okay, 1 to 10 got printed, 1 to 10 got printed, right? 1 to 10 got printed. So this is how the for loop will work, guys. This is how the for loop will work. Okay, it will print the values. It has printed the values from. So just let me clear this and run it again. You see, 1 to 10 will be printed. Okay. It will start with the first section. Only one time this section will be executed, where it will create the variable and initialize that variable with 1. After that, it will never come back to the first section. From there onwards, it will go to the second section. And once the condition is verified, it go inside the loop and then come to this section. Then go to this section, enter into the loop, end of the loop, come to this increment third section, then second section for condition, then go inside the loop. It will repeat until this condition becomes false. Okay. So this is how the for loop will get executed, guys. Okay. There's a simplified version of the while loop, right? There's a simplified version of the while loop. So at this point of time, I cannot say that which loop is better. Okay. At this point of time, if you ask me like clearly which loop we have to use while loop or while loop or for loop. Okay. Which one is more better? I'll generally say for loop is better for me. Okay. At this point of time, for loop is better. It doesn't mean that while loop we don't use. At some point of time, we have to use while loop, guys. Okay. You see, if calculated number of iterations, how many iterations are going to come in, I is equal to 1, I less than, such kind of cases, for loop is better, guys. There may be some kind of looping situations where you don't know how many iterations, okay? It all depends on the dynamically, it all depends on the condition or something, situation and all. There, while loop is better, guys. I cannot, at this point of time, I cannot give you an example of the while loop, a kind of example where, while loop is better than the for loop in one example. I cannot give you, but I may give you that in the upcoming sessions. But for now, if you ask me to print numbers from 1 to 10, which loop you will use? While loop or for loop means I'll generally prefer for loop because for loop is very simple. It takes very less number of lines of code when compared to the while loop and all. So for loop is a preferable loop for me. Going ahead, no matter what, wherever I need to use loops, or I'll give first preference to the for loop. Okay, then only while loop. So there are some situations where while loop is better than the for loop, but at this point of time, okay, I cannot explain how while loop may be chosen in some kind of situation when compared to for loop. I cannot explain at this point of time with the knowledge I have shared with you. You cannot understand whatever I'll explain about the while loop at this point of time, how it can be better than for loop in some situations. Okay, so ignore that point, guys, for a while. Ignore that point and just believe that for a while, for loop is better than the while loop. You just okay until the turn comes of the while loop, and I can give an example where while loop is better than for loop. Till the time comes, you just you know, be okay with. Okay, the situation for now that for loop is better than the while loop. Whenever a situation arises to use while loop and for loop, I prefer for loop. You just prefer for a while. Okay, but when the situations of the while loop example comes where it is better than the for loop, I'll explain that. Okay, till then, don't worry about it. Okay, so these are the loops I thought of covering in this particular session, right? While loop, do while loop, and for loop. We also have for in loop and for off loop, but I cannot cover this. These items also I cannot cover because for in loop you need to understand the concept of object in JavaScript, and for off loop you have to work with some iterables like arrays and all those stuff. Okay, which have not covered in this JavaScript session. So ignore this two loops for a while. They'll be covered to you in the upcoming sessions. Okay, for now these three loops, if you are able to run and practice, it's all good. Okay, so hope guys you understood the three, okay, the first three major iterative or looping statements in JavaScript. The remaining two I'll cover in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so with this we are done with the iterative or looping statements in JavaScript, guys. Okay, in the next session we'll go with the transfer statements. Till then, see you. Bye bye.